What's good, everybody? Welcome to the Pull Up and Chat. My name is BJ Mathews, aka B. Just before we get started, follow us on the YouTube page, the Pull Up Basketball Podcast, Spotify, Iheartradio, Twitter, TikTok, the Pull Up Basketball Podcast as well. Like, share, subscribe, all of our YouTube videos. Hit that notification bell by our subscribe button. Let's get it popping. What a game last night. You know what I'm saying? The Clippers, came up short against the Philadelphia 76ers. A rough day in the office, but I definitely enjoyed myself. Met some important people in the Clippers organization. Very, very generous people. From some of the coaching staff and, some people in the media relations department. And, even the players, man, just being able to engage with them a little bit was, very welcoming to see. So I just love the vibe in the Clippers organization. So hopefully pray for your boy. You get some good news coming up. I just got probably an interview coming up next week, one of the publicists for the Clippers media relations department. So just pray for your boy to see if he gets, a position, you know what I mean? But I'll continue to do this regardless if I get the position or whatever happens. But I'm pretty definite it's going to happen. So yeah, just pray for me. But let's get into the topic. So it's a beautiful Saturday morning. I'm actually about to go hang out with my boy. He's out of town from Texas. So I'm about to hang out with my boy Troy. So I'm about to head over to his house. But I have to make this video to talk about a team who's been getting a lot of buzz, not just recently, but the entire season, right? The Memphis Grizzlies, man. The young Memphis hot Grizzlies have been making a lot of buzz this season. So I feel like we should talk about them, right? I think it's only right. If the question is, could the Memphis Grizzlies make it to the NBA Finals this season? That's the question. Will the Memphis Grizzlies make it out the Western Conference, make it to the NBA Finals, and can they do it? Let's get into it. Of course, the answer is yes, because why? Any team can do anything. It only takes a moment in time that we've seen in history, of course, in sports, where anything can happen. So, of course, they can do anything. It's not anything's possible, right? Now, let me just go through the list of, what about the Grizzlies? What about what they are? Like I said, they're a young, athletic, energetic team. And let me say this, in the season, feel free, when the season mode, it looks very good to have a young, athletic team on the court. Because they're playing off a lot of adrenaline. They're playing off, liking each other, chemistry. And the game is fun during the season, right? That's what it is. So they look very, very good. They're the second seed in the Western Conference right now. So it looks very good on, with the Memphis Grizzlies, what they're doing right now. So they're a young, athletic, energetic team. Like I said, they seem to like each other. They have a lot of good team chemistry. I didn't think the Memphis Grizzlies were going to be the top 2, top 3 seed in the Western Conference. I don't think many people did. You might have said they were probably going to be a dark horse, but nobody really, predicted they would be a top team in the Western Conference, because you still had, Golden State, you had Phoenix, you had the Clippers if they got, Kawhi, PG, and everybody back. Utah. You still had all these top teams. Denver, they're going to be talked about when they got Jamal Murray, Michael Porter Jr., but it looks like they're not coming back, so they're out. But you had some teams that were, pretty much ahead of Memphis, but Memphis has proved themselves to be, worthy to be talked about. Now, as far as the team goes, bro, here's the thing. They're young, athletic, energetic, and they got a lot of team chemistry. They got, shooters on their team, with Desmond Bane and Tyus Jones, and even John Morant improved his three-point shot. Credit to him this offseason. He's gotten his catch and shot, going pretty good. They got enforcers and, defensive tough guys do the dirty work, saying from Dylan Brooks to Brandon Clark to Steven Adams. Of course, you guys know Steven Adams, you know what I mean? And then they got their young, big man, or should I say big small man, Jaren Jackson, who's not the most physical guy, but he's super athletic. He's active, and he knows how to play off the pick and roll. He knows how to play defense, and they have a good team where they just mesh with one another. And then Brian Anderson off the bench as well. They're about deep from like 1 to 10. So that's all positive, right? Now, I said it's possible they can make it to the finals. Now, the likelihood, to me, I'm going to go very, very low. I don't think the Memphis Grizzlies are going to make it past in the Western Conference. I don't think they're going to make it out the Western Conference. Why? Because it's going to all come down to matchups. Everything when it comes to the playoffs is about matchups. I've said it time and time again. The season is completely different from the playoffs, man. It's one thing for you to ask from a role player, a player has not been in certain situations to do something in the season one time, vice versa to do it 4 or 5 times out of a 7-game series. It's a completely different responsibility to ask, and a lot of times those type of players cannot handle it. Now, I don't. I think Ja Morant can handle himself. I think he has enough to be like, okay, he's going to still do what he has to do. The other guys, what he's going to have to be able to do is bring them up. Ja Morant's 22 years old, and I'm very, very impressed of his leadership, his qualities, and how he's been able to lead this team. But even him, as a 22-year-old, you're still facing guys who are in their primes and who are seasoned, who've been in this moment. So it's not really about can you do it. It's about you offsetting the other team, opposing team, and messing up their game plan. And I don't see guys who are proven and in their prime in their season allowing that to happen. Now, if the game is going to slow down in the playoffs, so you're not going to be just doing all that fast breaking and dunks and alley oops. You're not going to just be doing that all in the playoffs, because teams are going to game plan for you, scheme for you, and they're going to do what they got to do to stop you. So you're not going to be just having fun, just throwing up alley oops and just dunking. Like, it looked good during the season, but once the playoffs hit, it's going to slow the game down. It's going to come over a half court offense setting. So they have to be wary of that. As far as the teams I feel like that they can't beat, I don't feel like they could beat Phoenix. I think Phoenix is just too deep, too experienced, and they just got Chris Paul and Devin Booker right there, and they got great coaching. So they got too many weapons. They got young, they got experience, they got just come off a championship appearance last year, so they're in their position where they're ready. I don't feel like they can beat a loaded Clippers team. If Kawhi and PG come back, I don't see the Memphis Grizzlies being that team, because that's just too much firepower. The Clippers are the deepest team in the NBA right now, fully constructed, and I'll argue with anybody till the cows come home about that. They're the deepest team in the NBA when fully constructed and fully healthy. If y'all don't understand what I'm saying, y'all can go back in my videos and look at what I talk about the Clippers and how their team is constructed and how that team is going to be dangerous once they get back to full strength. I don't feel like they can beat them. I think they can beat the Golden State Warriors. I feel like they can beat Golden State just because of the fact that Golden State, for one, does not have any size. James Wiseman, if y'all don't have not already heard, has been ruled out for the rest of the season. So they don't have no interior posts. And it seems like to me, Klay Thompson has not found his rhythm. They're going to be relying heavily on that three-point shot. And you guys know how the three-point shot is. You either live for it or you die from it. Steph Curry's, he's hurt right now. He's questionable. Of course, the coaching is going to come into play with Steve Kerr. But I think the Memphis Grizzlies are at a point where they just don't really fear. They don't fear anybody, but Golden State, I feel like they have a good chance of beating them because they've already beaten them in the play-in. And I think that they are just more seasoned after what happened last year against Utah, that they feel like they're ready to beat this Golden State team. Draymond Green coming off that back injury as well. I feel like they can beat Utah because I think Utah are frauds. I think they're going to beat them this season if they face each other in the playoffs. I think they can beat Dallas, even though that's going to be a good series as well. I feel like Memphis can beat Dallas because they got too many weapons. And I feel like they can beat Denver because Denver then got Jamal Murray and Michael Porter Jr. And, if you don't have two of your top three players, then you're probably going to lose. So Memphis, to me, they have to deal with a loaded Phoenix Suns team and a loaded Clippers team. I think they can beat Utah. But even Utah, I think they can still... I wouldn't be surprised if Utah beats them because of what happened last year. And I don't know if the demons might still be in their heads, you know what I'm saying? Because if you ask me who's better between Ja Morant and Donovan Mitchell, I know people are going to find this controversial, but I think Donovan Mitchell, from his resume, of course, he's more proven in these moments. So that's going to play into, in the playoffs. That's going to be a good series, or it's going to be Dallas and Memphis. That'll be a good series too, but I still take Memphis. But I'm not on the wagon like a lot of these, mainstream media members talking about Memphis is automatically a conference final bid. I'm not doing that. If the Clippers are full strength, if Phoenix is full strength, those are going to be the two teams representing the West. I'm not big on Golden State. I think Golden State is going to get knocked out in the second round. So we'll see. It's going to all come down to matches. But that's all I got to say about that. You know what I'm saying? Follow us on the YouTube Pull Up Basketball Podcast. You know what I'm saying? Instagram, Spotify, iHeartRadio. You know what I'm saying? Pull up, see, pull up, check, pull up. Peace. I like swimwear.